To many of you, it might be new. When I get an audience, that's what I'll start off saying. When I was young, my dad was wanting to be more heritage food source. We had gardens and hogs, right? And the hogs, they pooped, right? So it stank. But we had a good setup. We took the byproducts from the tofu plant in town where they made tofu and sold it, and we'd feed it to the hogs. Soy, very good for the hogs, right? And then the guy started him a compost pile at his house further back in the country. Both of them stank. Nobody liked it, but they like bacon, and they think that we can mitigate the stink to a certain location and get inherently good quality food. And you can't. You cannot institutionalize production in schools or meat foundries and get quality instruction and sustenance. I have been trying with everything I have since 2011 after, oh, well, that was the start of what they started off as economic warfare against my family. It might not have been the start, but it was substantial. The way the local governments treated me and my family was just like the truckers are being treated now. They cut off, my friend was bitching about it. They cut off a couple of economic things once or twice, whether you buy one stock and they suppress that one stock or not, like they've been doing me since Christmas. It's economic warfare to call cops on people, to force compulsory attendance laws are the beginning of this kind of economic grasp on people. I don't understand, but I do understand. But the churches don't seem to understand that they have the opportunity to fix this nation with a school system that rivals the public school system. My private school, we just ordered food from a restaurant. We don't need a freaking cafeteria, and we get different restaurants every day. Now, not the public schools can't do that. They can't have, well, they probably could now, but you couldn't then have Boone Delivery deliver anything you want to eat. You don't have to eat what they're eating. Now, over in Ashe County, well, we're about to come back to Watauga, and we're going to be showing you guys how to live. We're not going to be telling you anymore. All right? The cool. Okay. So this is live, and I don't even have one watcher. Welcome to live chat. Remember to live chat, paste. To live chat, remember to guide your policies and ability by your community guidelines, whatever. So I've been trying to sell this one safe trade, transit insurance, commerce sales. Okay, well, wait a minute. That was the beginning of the economic problems. Then we had to abandon the livestock aspect and move to easier to manage junk recycling. And they didn't like that either because it was visibly ugly to them. And it was nothing more than harassment. And I got a damn car out here with no tag on it right now, just hoping they're going to say something. I got outstanding debts with them, so I hoping they escalate something. I don't know what we can do because I've been trying to tell you since 2011. My one safe trade. Okay, wait a minute. I keep getting off key because I have to repeat myself so many times because of the censorship. But after that, they harassed us regarding the junkyard, to where we had to take, and I personally had to plant trees in between me and the road, our property and the road, to prevent their view, right? And and then we had a wall built. I didn't help so much on the wall, because by the time we'd allocated so much funding to the materials and time retrieving the materials, uh, the government come up with another. The people, good old boy system here in the state, North Carolina, come up with another idea to disrupt my family with sanctions. And basically, they designed the interstate system right over my house. Now, we were in the agricultural area of the county, but a few derelicts that wanted to be a suburbia moved there and wanted to bitch about the smell of cow poop and stuff, right? And that basically made a passive aggressive feud brew. So then they finally got it figured out that they put the highway over our house. I went to the meeting personally where Virginia Fox was the host, and I tried to suggest, as a 14, 15-year old civically minded youth, I said, well, why don't you stay on the current what's it called, right away that the highway already occupies, and buy the people out that have the dated housing and the dated buildings. There's a little township, but why wouldn't you just buy them out, push them back a ways into to the edge of the cow fields on both sides of the road, and allow them to buy an extra acre a piece off, broker a deal off the guy behind it? Why not just get rid of that instead of going through these large fields of heritage food sources, the large farms? Well, they decided it was the bulk of the currency holder of the area got to decide. So he taking the quick buck instead of the state doing their due diligence to maintain the ecosystem, delegated a move with the design. The design simply should have been on the original. But I also said, look, if you can't stay on the jurisdiction, build a bridge. There'd been a lot of good storm coverage. Of course, they didn't want to do that. And maybe I ought to move up into Kentucky, because I hear I can buy some properties like that. But, or at least I can't buy it, live next door to it. That'd be so much protection. But anyhow, so that was perpetrated directly to impact my dad's and my mom's little 4-acre farm. Industrial little 4-acre farm they had. They found an old farmhouse, had a barn and another house on it, and they built a garage to do auto work. So, and had a good setup, had a upper driveway under a cherry tree that was just awesome. I was going to open a store on top of the garage, because that would have been the tourist trap. Not a lot of traffic, but enough traffic come through there. Would have been easy, no brainer. It would have been millions of dollars and millions of dollars. And It was a good location. A giant hill behind me, giant hills in front of me. The giant hill behind us didn't want to sell. The giant hill in front of us did want to sell. No, actually, they didn't want to sell either. It was the ones that were back behind them that wanted to sell. Anyhow, when they blasted the rock, they destroyed our magnetic cohesion in the globe. That's where we live. We live on top of the magnetic cohesion. And what it's going to do is going to cause strokes in people because the field is diverted from what developed our cognitive abilities. Not only did blasting that rock to build that interstate system and all these quarries, and not so much the coal mines, because the coal mines, look at the kind of stuff it is, but the hard granite, the hard shit that's almost like steel, resonates harmonics that are key to our development, key to our intelligence, key to our abilities. And it has an impact. And I'm here to tell you it can be restored, but it has to be restored mindfully with a growth mindset for survival and intelligence and transition. We might be able to come together and prosthetically remedy the disaster, which is the gravel industry in my community, and of course the highway projects. Unfortunately, I'll have to rely on maybe the act of a God to restore my valley, because I don't think man could ever find the will to acknowledge that the copper is more important where it was than where we put it. Granite is more important where it was than where we put it. Any hard rock or mineral is more important where it was than where we put it. All the gold in the world has to be scattered back out around the globe to protect us from the sun, my friends. But nobody ever recommend that because it's economical warfare to an extent of just high greed. You don't want to do what it takes to be smart and cognitively abundant. Is that why we don't go to Mars? We're going to get stupider as we go? I don't know, but I'd rather find out now than have later generations find out. I don't know. Elon Musk is just stopping any kind of forward motion. He's stuck on stupid with old technologies, and I understand. It's not your natural born talent. I understand that you made a lick and you're willing to, you're partly right. We have to take into account the warnings of the book of the books. And it says not to leave. It says God will destroy the world with fire. Do not leave. Well, I believe there's some real sense right there. I believe with all of my discernment that we've already destroyed almost 80% of the world's been flipped over by fire and destroyed. But science shows our harmonic and magnetic fields are fluctuating, and some scientists are predicting that it's a natural occurrence and it's happening on other planets. And I'm going to tell you, a piece in the chain manipulated is a piece in the chain that demands restructuring. Do you understand that? And we might not be part of the restructuring might not be the healthiest thing we ever did as far as atoms in our solar system. It might not be. Matter of fact, it's going to push us in another direction. The magnetic field, the fluctuation I feel on my head in the last 2 days and the puking I did yesterday out of nowhere. I bet you if I go to, suppose just go check out the space weather on the sun, there was some pretty high CM. There's either a negative charge or a positive charge coming out of the sun. And most elements and forces are during flare-ups instead of subsistence of energy. But life comes from the submission of energy. So maybe we'll grow smarter. I doubt it. The way that they've destroyed the magnetic fields, I doubt it. But back to reality. So they did all that. They destroyed the magnetic field. They've become stupider, and they won't listen to sense. We have a tax system that has property taxes, sales taxes, and income taxes. 3 different taxes, and all these taxes were appropriated to provide certain amenities to the community, like first responders, like fire department, supposed to establish a fire department. Fire department, we're just supposed to fight fires. We're not supposed to be first responders. We're not supposed to be ambulances. We're just there to watch your place burn. Retrieve your corpse out of the flames. But we're not there to transport you from the scene to the hospital and at the hospital to fix you up. So basically, we're just there to do half the job that we were allocated to do originally. We need to consolidate these services again, reestablish a general welfare for the fact that I'd rather prepay little itty bitty bit into a government system like it was intended than have a life altering bill every time the state neglects to secure the thoroughfares of commerce with this crummy highway system that they swears a, what is it called? A eminent domain is necessity. They claim the highway is a necessity. No, I've only seen death from highways. I lived beside a road when I was a kid. Dog after dog got run over. I almost got run over on a bicycle. I could be in the ditch and almost get run over. Picking blackberries off the side of the road somewhere and almost get run over. They're dangerous. I've seen people pull out of gas stations and 35 mile per hour zones and big trucks just run over them. The roads are dangerous and not a necessity to life. Matter of fact, think of the money to be generated just occupying people to traverse the woods. It would definitely be cool. I used to walk 3 miles everywhere I went. 3 miles to work, 3 miles back. 3 miles over here to see something else, the bars, and then 3 miles back home. Then back to work the next day, 3 miles. You know what? I go 3 miles to work, 3 miles to the bar, 3 miles home. Or I go 3 miles to work, 3 miles back the next day, and then 3 miles to work, 3 miles to the bar, and 3 miles back home the third day. I was on a rotation pretty for a good long time. That was good. I enjoyed it. But I didn't enjoy getting shook down every time the cops see me walking around. I worked second shift. I walked around constantly while everybody else was in school. You know what I seen? A bunch of thug terrorists riding around in patrol cars, fucking smoking dope. That was back when I was 18, 19 years old. Okay. Think about that. That was back in the 90s, the good old days. They have all the forces in the world out here in the street patrolling it while everybody's at work and at school. But when everybody gets off work and gets off school, they only get a little skeleton crew that has to respond to domestic disputes underpowered, undermanned. But while everybody's in school, they got these fat bastards riding around here in this county sniffing cocaine and smoking pot in Boone city limits. That's the 90s. That's what it was in the 90s, was a bunch of cops sniffing cocaine and fucking smoking pot with the fucking maintenance workers. That's what Watauga County was. Probably is now. I don't know. I don't bother to see what it is now because I know what it was in the colleges. After I got a little bit older and I stopped working all my nights, then I started exploring and checking out the activities of the college students. And in my findings, they were called raves. And that means everybody there would be on ecstasy. Your dick might not work because of the side effects of the ecstasy, but the girls will rub all over you and it will feel tremendously good. So yes, I've been in a mosh pit as large as a college population. I can't even remember how long. And in them findings was revealed the presence of poison in some stuff, but the higher up you got on the food chain, the less poison there was. If you got your shit off people that weren't trying to make money, shit was real good. Get around a bunch of street thugs that are scraping by to eat, trying to make money off the shit, and the shit was detrimental to the children in which they disseminated it to because it was full of cut and poison. But the lower level people knew that there's only equality in entrapping the rich people so they'd have an easier time in court. Always take somebody with you, huh? I don't know how they learned to do that, but it was a practice. By all means, it was a practice. So then that was through the 90s. And then we get to 2011, I mean, that's for a long time. I can't go through everything that's taught me and got me where I am with my thesis, but this is pretty much my thesis. So we get to 2011, and I get a home, and I start getting these damn property tax bills. Still haven't figured out how to get these people to stop sucking at what they're supposed to provide amenities, not bills. They're supposed to be there to help the people, not there to farm out all the fire department, right? They bill for ambulance ride from an incident. You call 911, they bill you. What is my property tax fucking paying? If it's not paying for the basic amenities that are going to be a necessity, everybody knows that at least once or twice in their life, they're going to need a paramedic. If you haven't personally needed one, you have witnessed where one was needed. Why would you pay for a fire department out of property taxes? And then if they have to dispatch an ambulance, you have to submit to these because of clinical professional thug terrorists and intellectual technology and patent laws, the first stage of treason in this world perpetrated. Next to, no, not the first, the second. The first was the insurance markets because they existed from Europe. So the insurance markets and the public utilities need addressing before I feel comfortable paying property taxes. And I ain't got no action on it. Don't even know where to file a complaint. I have to go up there and quit my job and go up there and wait until they're having a meeting to speak and still not get no resolve. Matter of fact, if they don't like what you say this day and age, they might trespass you like they did me. Instead of getting resolved, I got trespassed for my grievance. And I can't find a lawyer one that'd take it up. So after all that went down when I was 17, so I got up here and I'm 33 years old and I get a home. 2011, I got a home. And I got these bitches wanting this taxation after they bullied me around and put me out on the street for a good 15, 20 years before I had a home again. Destroyed my whole community. My parents moved off, and I'm not going to leave my people that I was raised with. Why would I do that? Why would I move off where my parents had to resort to moving into an economically declined area? I stayed in the city and lived out of a backpack because I needed to work, and I needed to work. And I made ends meet. I lived in cars. Slept outside a couple of times. Couch surfed like a master. Main thing is I had a place to take a shower every day, whether I was sleeping in the car or not. Thank you. So, not liking those two industries. There's one more thing. Oh, prohibition laws, how they create a black market with their regulations, and then they pump poison, take sanctuary status, and develop these prohibition laws and mental health regulations and force the population to be mentally institutionalized through compulsory attendance laws. That is the foundation of why I come up with my one safe trade, transit, insurance, commerce, sales tax, appropriation, accountability, infrastructure, prepaid, dividend bearing incentive system to get us off of these manipulative processes such as property taxes, insurances, and intellectual technology and medical treatments in the schools. We have to get an alternate to these things, to outperform these things, to fund the ambulances that the victims that are hurt normally. I got a bad knee. I went to the doctors and they didn't fix my bad knee. They sent me out of the doctor's office with a bad knee. I can't walk. I can't earn a living if my knee's fucked up. You can't pay a bill if you can't earn a living. But you didn't fix it, and you can fix it. Why would you not fix it? I even had some kind of insurance at the time, but you sent me back out the door without fixing it. And now, a couple years later, I got more trouble with it, and my tone has gone more to the extreme. We need to restack things that I've observed in my lifetime. When I was a child, I didn't deserve to be mentally fucking tortured. I shouldn't have been forced to sit beside Sally Rottencrotch, smelling her pussy, sitting there with a throbbing fucking heart on for 8 hours a day trying to be taught something by another female that had a fucking smelling, throbbing, wet pussy too. You're fucking assholes for doing that to me. You forced me to learn how to suppress my psyche. Well, you didn't have to suppress your psyche. Oh, yeah, I could have been fucking the teacher all along, huh? Right there in the room that I was trapped with her, huh? You forced me to suppress my manhood like you do all these other people. I'm thankful I didn't have it more. I wasn't forced more so. I'm glad I found avenues to get out and away from them. So I might have been through hell in my stomach. It hurt. But that was the benefit of not being tortured by all them good fucking pussies. And I'm telling you, it made my dick hard ever since I was 5 years old. When some of these good looking menstruating females were teaching me. I used to love them to read to me. And it really turned me on. And tell me stories and talk and just be around the females. Carla, I'm talking about you, baby. And Jennifer and her sister. Woohoo! Hold me, hold me, hold me. Yes, yes, yes. I was turned on. Physical reaction. So that has to be changed. I think you'd have a better appreciation for the opposite sex if you weren't forced to cage your emotions, be mentally attacked by compulsory attendance laws. Yeah, the females, the transvestites might not feel that frustration. They tell you got frustration. But that's not what you have as a teen. That's not what you have as a adolescent. You have suppressed hormones. You have fluid backup. And if you don't alleviate it, it rots inside you. So the one safe trade, transit, insurance, commerce, sales tax, appropriation, accountability, infrastructure, prepaid dividend bearing system is exactly what they don't want you to hear. And I haven't had one of you. Not one person has come in this room, and I've been streaming for 31 minutes. Let me open another window. Alternative YouTube. Then we'll go live. See, I don't really think I'm able to go live. Not even one listing of it. Is that all we got? It's one page? I'm live. It says right there I'm live. I got to document this. So it says right there in live streams, it says right there 32 minutes. So we go right here. And we're looking for my thumbnail, and I don't see it. It don't scroll no further down. Do you see it? I don't see me live. There I am. This thing, 100 truckers. What the? I didn't say 100 truckers. What the? Oh, 100% with the truckers. What the? Oh, 100% with the truckers. What the? Oh, 100% with the truckers. What the? Oh. All right. Oh, wrong button. $30. You got to be live for 30 minutes to get it to register on this search. That's crazy. Let's go get a cup of coffee then. Let's get a cup of coffee, see if we ever get any viewers. Several of them say viewers. 13K. I gotta stay on here and wait for viewers. Make a pot of coffee while we're doing that. If y'all can't see my filthy kitchen, I gotta clean it up. I guess I had food poisoning yesterday. I don't know. I'm not scared to drink any milk, but it says he drinks some milk. I don't know. Dang, that was rough. I went to the party at the county jail. Yeah, I like it when I come into the kitchen. I like the yell. Went to the party at the county jail. Ain't got one view. How's that live? I'm searching live, ain't I? Why is it not coming up live? Look at that. That's not even what I wanted to see. Come on. Hold on a minute. I'm live right now and I'm trying to do something and it won't let me do nothing. Let me come back in here where my mouse is.
I'm laying down to watch a movie.
Well, no, you're not because you got Zoom in a little bit.
When?
I don't know, son. Just a little while.
I don't have a clock.
Where is it? There. Oh, it's not showing it. Not one viewer, man. Long time, Jason. Long time. 40 minutes. 38 minutes. I'm getting off here. That's bullshit.